Hey everyone. So I'm really excited about today. Today is going to be what I believe will be the first live stream of a $0 ceremony that ever happened and stuff. So I'm really excited. So for today, we're going to be going over round 8 of what we call the Plumo Ceremony at Cello. The Plumo Ceremony is a $0 SNARK ceremony that is designed for us to be able to build the most ultralight client ever available that can run on mobile devices and stuff. So in theory, anyone with a slow internet connection would be able to sync up a blockchain node in a few seconds using Plumo and ultralight, like an ultralight client and stuff. And yeah, so we have a bunch of participants that are going to be joining this live stream who are also going to be taking part in the $0 SNARK and stuff. And we will go over soon. Let's see who we can start introducing first. Is Hudson available on this team? Hey,
Yep.
Hudson.
Hey, what's up?
How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. Where are you based out of, Hudson, right now?
I'm in Dallas right now, so it's like late morning, pretty cold outside.
Cool. Yeah, I'm currently right now in Canada. Up north is freezing. Not gonna lie.
Yep.
Is it your first time participating in a $0 SNARK ceremony?
No, I participated in one of the Zcash ones. I think it was the second one, and then I also participated in Perpetual Powers of Tau, which was one that I think Barry Whitehat's group did.
Oh, that's cool. And how do you feel like, given you're already experienced and seasoned in $0 SNARK ceremonies, how do you feel about this one coming today?
This was easy peasy so far. Everything was really well laid out in the guides. I generated my address. I have a unique source of entropy that may be revealed either during or after this call. Check out my Twitter. And yeah, it's looking really easy so far. I'm excited.
Well, I'm actually really excited to check out your video on Twitter for how did you what you did for the entropy generation and stuff. So yeah, I'll be input like yeah. So I'll put you like you participate in the ceremony, which we'll get started with in a bit. And I'll have you back on once the computations start, and we can go deeper dive into questions and stuff about the participation and stuff. Cool. Let's see. Is Greg also here? Let's add Greg. Hey, Greg.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm good.
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
It's been a while. How you been? Are you based out? Are you currently in Toronto or in Waterloo?
Yeah. No, I'm spending most of my time in Toronto now. Yeah. It's cold. Go outside much.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm in Montreal. As you can imagine, it's even a little bit colder than Toronto.
You're wearing the wrong hat for Montreal. I'll tell you that much. You're gonna lose your ears.
So there's no basketball team in Montreal, or like a baseball team as well. But I am a refugee from New York. Like I left New York. I was in New York for 5 years, came back to Montreal because of like the whole COVID thing and stuff. But we're in like a much more severe lockdown up in Canada than down south, right?
Oh, yeah. I haven't been able to go anywhere for like 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah. But I bet productivity went up, right? At ChangeSafe.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, like pretty stable. We're good at keeping like a stable routine. We're used to, having like a pretty remote culture. 50% of us work remote, have always been working remote, and we've been kind of growing that way still steadily. So it's been good. Can't complain. It'd be nice to see everybody though, but
It's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm always like, I think before the thing happened, the whole remote culture kind of thing really helped with transitioning to a post-COVID world. So have you ever participated in a $0 SNARK ceremony before?
I actually have not. I have not, so this is fun.
I'm so excited for you for joining. This is actually my first one as well. I keep seeing, folks who, participated in a ceremony before. I'm like, I always want to, participate in one and stuff. So I'm happy to do a live stream about it as well. I'm happy that you're participating as well. All right. All right, so I'll catch up with you in a few minutes once the computation starts, so we can have a really fun panel with all the participants online. All right, I'll catch you in a bit. Is James on the call?
Yes.
Hey, James. How are you?
Pretty good. How's it going?
Good. So it must be a little bit earlier morning for you, right?
It's about 9 o'clock. I got up early to do my hair for this.
Of course. How much coffee have you had so far?
Just the one can, like a little can of coffee. So not quite enough.
Not quite enough. It's never enough coffee. Actually, I'm like, I could do a refill later for espresso. Have you ever participated in a Zero Knowledge SNARK ceremony before?
Yeah, I participated in the Zcash Powers of Tau and in the loop ring setup ceremony.
Cool. Yeah, so you did that with, I guess, Hudson, the Power of Tau, right?
I think there were 2 Powers of Tau. One was the Zcash one, and one was the Perpetual. But there have been more and more of these over the years, and I try to take the chance to participate when I can.
Nice. And I'm hoping, how do you feel about the one happening right now in this ceremony?
Oh, pretty good. It's been easy so far.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
I remember having to debug these back in the day, just debug the participant software to get it working right. And yeah, this one's been really easy. Yeah,
I followed the docs and the guide. It's really well done, well written, really straightforward and stuff. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, so James, I'll catch up with you in a few minutes once the computations start. Whenever all the participants, you guys have your, starting computation and stuff, feel free to hop back on. We'll have a fun panel and we can just dive deeper into your knowledge, SNARKs, and ceremonies. So I'll catch you up in a bit.
Cool.
And is Anna on the line? Hey, Anna.
Hey.
How's it going?
Hey, Yaz. It's
right.
Going great. I have to say I'm a little jealous because James never does his hair for our one-on-ones. So this is apparently, yeah. More worthy.
I basically tell James that, hey, we're doing a live stream, make sure to look pretty. He always delivers, whenever we do those live streams or MMA and stuff like that. Where are you?
I tell him the same thing before our meetings, but.
Does. Yeah, so where are you based out of, Anna?
I'm in Berlin here. Yeah, under this lovely loft bed in snowy Berlin.
Yeah, I feel like I can really relate. I'm currently in Montreal. There's a curfew going on, and there's super freezing right now, and it's not fun and stuff. But hey, we get to do a Zero Knowledge SNARK ceremony, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of hype about it, honestly, because I just moved from California. So it's been a blizzard and I've been like, oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Moving from California to Berlin when it's winter. Yeah. At least, from what I find, going through that winter phase and stuff like that, anything that is milder, even in New York, winter would feel really mild in comparison afterwards. So there's a lot of benefits for, enduring a really harsh winter. I also wanted to ask, have you ever participated in a Zero Knowledge SNARK ceremony before?
This is my very first time. I'm very excited. When I was at Dharma, we talked about some ZK SNARK ceremonies, and we talked about doing an offsite day where everybody tried to collect the best source of entropy.
Yeah, there's a whole competition around collecting the best source of entropy. I think there's also another step for contribution where you also have to add more entropy. And for that segment, I'm going to be hopefully fielding some ideas on Twitter from folks just to DM me and stuff. But yeah, awesome, Anna. We'll catch up in a bit once the computations start, and we'll have a whole fun panel together, and we'll see how it goes and stuff with the ceremony. So I'll catch you in a bit.
Sounds good.
Take care. Is Pranay on? Hey, Pranay, how's it going? Oh, I believe you're muted, Pranay.
Sorry, yeah, I had to be the first person to go with the traditional COVID. I believe you're muted.
Yeah, it's always been like, when you use like different devices, sometimes there's a button where you gotta, you start getting muted and you forget that you clicked that button, you gotta unclick it and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Happens to me a lot and stuff. So Pranay, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience and stuff and what you do, and we'll take it from there.
Sure, yeah. So I am a product manager working at cLabs, which is one of the companies in the Celo ecosystem helping build out the protocol. And I've actually been helping out in coordinating and running the Plumo setup. And so I've been lucky to see like the 7 rounds before this and excited to go into this one that we get to live stream and share with everybody out there at East Denver as well. So pretty cool. And it's been great seeing something that started off as just an idea to improve the experience for people running nodes on lower end devices actually become come into fruition through this setup. And seeing all the different people and different organizations come and contribute has been really cool.
That's awesome to hear. So let's take it back a little bit for like the audience can understand. So what is Plumo?
Yeah, great question. So I think before we jump into talking about what Plumo is, we have to also set a little bit of the context to understand why we need Plumo. Mm-hmm. And I think the root of that is understanding what Celo's mission is. Celo is a crypto protocol, as most of y'all probably know, but the mission is to improve financial conditions for people around the world. And this includes people in emerging markets where traditionally they have not come online to the internet on a desktop, but instead leapfrogged and went straight to mobile phones. So for example, where I was born and grew up for a bit in India, it changed massively over the last 20 years when nobody had a phone to all of a sudden, I like went back 1 year and even the street vendors who'd be selling you like vegetables or chai, everybody would have a 3G connected device that they could just buy a SIM card and access the internet. So when we think about what this like next generation of internet is going to look like with blockchains and P2P payments, if folks in places like India and other emerging markets cannot send payments to each other with their phone, then it's not much use to them, and our reach is limited. And so that was kind of the genesis of why Plumo is needed, because if you think about how chain state is growing, like with every additional block added, syncing to a blockchain is absolutely untenable. And that's where this idea of a ZK SNARK to be able to verify the entire chain state and immediately like warp to the head of the chain is super useful for people in resource constrained and bandwidth constrained environments.
Gotcha. And how many like hypothetically how many seconds would it take me if once we have Plumo and stuff, finalized and stuff, how many seconds would it take me to sync up a blockchain from an ultralight client in theory?
Yeah, so it depends on how much history is in the chain, because Plumo is a ultralight client ZK SNARK syncing model where the SNARK contains up to, I think, hundreds of epoch headers. So that's up to hundreds of days of chain history that can be synced by verifying one SNARK. But it's not a constant size SNARK, so you still get linear growth, but it's just bounded because it's much easier to verify a SNARK. So what we're targeting is when this goes live and people can use it, we want people to be able to sync in less than a minute and ideally less than 30 seconds.
Nice. Wow, less than 30 seconds is like a pretty good benchmark.
Yeah. And I think a comparison is like if you look at Ethereum Lite clients right now, the block headers are about 5 gigs, which even on a light client, I think takes about 15 minutes to sync, which is pretty good. But 15 minutes for somebody on a mobile phone is kind of challenging.
Yeah, and especially if it's bad internet connections and stuff like that, it's not going to be ideal for them.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think everybody talks about 5G, but I don't think we'll get 5G everywhere immediately.
Right. and maybe this might be like another question around like why use Plumo? What's the difference between like why not? I guess sorry, my question would be why not just connect directly to an HTTP endpoint for an RPC endpoint just to connect to the blockchain?
Yeah, it's a good point because it's like, why do all this? Why go through the hard work of having a multi-party computation ceremony and create this ZK SNARK powered light client? And it comes down to the principles of permissionless access or trustlessness. So with a light client, as long as the network is not being attacked, the validators are being honest, you can request block headers and then a Merkle proof to know that your transaction was included in the chain, right? But if you go through a API gateway, then the person running that gateway could shut you off. And then you're back into like a Venmo or M-Pesa style model where you rely on a centralized actor to give you access to the financial system.
Yeah, that makes sense. Having those, like, it becomes like a third party. Relying on another endpoint is like a third party when you have the tools necessary to verify the blockchain ledger on your own. And with Plumo, doing it in 30 seconds or so is like a major advantage compared to what exists out there.
Yeah, exactly. And the idea is that, like, even though we are targeting these users in emerging markets, we should not compromise on the core principles of crypto, which is like censorship resistance and the ability to build a truly peer-to-peer system.
I couldn't agree more. I think this is an interesting project. I'm so grateful to take part in it. As a host of a live stream and as a humble participant in the whole ceremony. So I'm really excited about the future of it. I believe we're gonna start the ceremony really soon, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check on Discord really quickly.
Sure. And I got a shout out to the coffee addicts. I got my Little Pony coffee cup right now. Got my morning mug.
It's just me and James. Like, I think half the time we just talk about coffee.
Yeah, man.
Coffee is great and stuff. Okay, I think some people are starting the contribution. So what I'm going to be doing right now is I'm going to do an overview of how I do the contribution. Oh, thanks. Take care, Pranay. Thank you for your help. I'll be doing I'm going to be going over a contribution using the command line. We have docs that we're going to link to in the live stream and stuff. And we're going to go over the command line how contribution happens. After my contribution start, you can see it will be streaming and stuff, and then later we're going to have the participants rejoin back, and we can have a panel and stuff, like start asking questions about the ceremony. Later on, we will be what do you call it? If we have enough time, I'll try to show you how do you generate your own address and key if you want to participate in a future round of Plumo. So folks who are watching it, can understand how to go about it and stuff. But yeah, let's get started. Hopefully everyone can see this. I'm using beige because as a background color for terminal, because I've been told that anything from a darker background is hard to see when you're live streaming. So I think this would be really easier. Let me pull up the docs and see how we can share it with folks. I'm gonna put them in the comments. Let's see. Let's see if we can share this link on the live stream so people can know how to follow along. So basically, where we are here, if I just share what current directory I'm in a directory called SNARK setup operator. It's this our repository is for a Rust library that we can compile and build. Let me see if I can share the docs as well. The doc set cello code base how to contribute. Let's see if we can get it done. So I'm guessing the docs are taking a little while to load. Wait. But yeah, anyway, while they're loading, let's see. Basically, all like we're doing right now is we're doing a git pull on the SNARK setup operator, and then we're compiling the library according to the instruction here. And after that, we would be generating our keys. So this setup is more about how do you get started with your contributions. So this is all after generating your key and everything. And when we start compiling, like the binary will be in our target release directory. So we would have here both, if you see there's a contribute and a generate. Generate, we're not going to go over it till probably later if we have time. Generate just to generate your private key and stuff. But contribute is how do I start the contribution and stuff using the key that I already generated. And let's see if we have contribute. Okay, so if you see here, this is the binary for contribute, right? And we have the contribute, then we have a path file called keys-file. And from there, we're going to what we call the Plumo.keys. Now, this is all stored on a USB. So basically, let's see if there's any, I already have a USB attached here, and this is using Mac OS. So I just need to let you know, this is all Mac OS. So you might have a different directory path if you're plugging in a USB, but generally it's very advisable to keep your keys on a USB because after the ceremony, we're all going to be destroying our keys. And in fact, later on Instagram Live, I'm going to be fielding ideas for how do I destroy my USB. So you're more than welcome to give me ideas for how to destroy the keys and stuff. So there's also another segment that we need to point out. When I start the contribution, it's going to ask me for more entropy generation. And for that, I'm hoping that I can field some of the people's ideas for entropy generation. So what we can do is you can DM me on my Twitter handle, Yazinator. So let me see if we can share it in the live stream. Yeah, so connect with Yazinator on Twitter. Just DM me ideas for entropy, and we'll take time to field those entropy and use them along with a different kind of entropy scheme that I devise, and we'll mix it. When I start the entropy part, I'm going to mute myself for a few minutes because there's apparently, I don't know if you've been reading about it, there's an attack where if you're typing loudly on a keyboard, somebody hearing what you're typing can kind of guess what kind of keys you're clicking. And it's like there's been a study on it and stuff. It's like pretty insane. But yeah, so we're going to click here to start the entropy generation. I'll probably going to have to mute myself, but I'll give it about, let me see. Okay, let me just put my passphrase, but let me just mute myself. Now they're asking me to contribute entropy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a timer for 5 minutes for everyone to DM me suggestions for words for the entropy generation. And then after 5 minutes by 12:30 EST, which is 9:30 a.m. PST, I'll unmute myself and we can add the entropy and we'll continue with the ceremony. So right now, let me mute myself. And we have 5 minutes, so I'm looking forward to what you contribute as an entropy suggestion at Yazinator on Twitter. See you in a bit.
Value is ours to define. No one can declare it for you. It's ours to create. No one makes it like you do. It's ours to experience. No one can take that feeling from you. Value is a story from within us. A spark that can catch and ignite the world to share value. Share what you value. Download Valora today.
Algo que yo tuve desde chiquita, like, como las ganas, ¿verdad? Así como, ay, yo quiero hacer esto, ahora quiero hacer esto. Pues yo empecé desde muy chiquita, ¿verdad? No me acuerdo la verdad cuántos años tenía, pero voy a decir como unos 7, creo que empecé a tomar más en serio la música. Mi papá estaba involucrado en una banda cuando él era joven. Pues, like, yo quiero ser como mi papá o quiero tocar esto. Queríamos hacer como una banda, ¿verdad? Entre familia. Por eso yo pienso que me dio ganas de aprender otros instrumentos, ¿verdad? Yo tocaba la batería, mi mamá el piano, mi papá el bajo y mi hermana la guitarra. So ahí teníamos la banda, ¿verdad? Desde chiquita, al escuchar la música norteña, la música de mariachi, las baladas, todo eso, como que a mí me dio ganas también de tocar así y aprender esa música, ¿verdad? La cultura y todo eso. Como yo siempre he estado involucrada en la iglesia con mis papás, eso es algo que también pues me motiva también, ¿verdad? Me gusta ayudar a la comunidad, tocar con la comunidad, conocer a la comunidad. En este tiempo de COVID ha sido pues un poquito, hemos dicho que ha sido difícil, pero para mí la verdad ha sido un poquito más fácil, pero ha sido fácil para mí porque me han venido oportunidades, ¿verdad? Como yo he tratado de crear, he tratado de enseñarle a la gente, ¿verdad? A mi música y para mí, pues el tratar es lo que más bien me ha hecho que esto se haga fácil, porque si no lo hubiera tratado, yo pienso que sería un poquito más difícil para mí, ¿verdad? Para salir adelante y hacer un artista o aprender, ¿verdad? Pero yo trato de pensar positivo, como todos nosotros estamos estamos sintiendo lo mismo, pero tratamos de seguir adelante también. You know, it all started when this COVID happened. Before I was with the band playing, but then this started, you know, the COVID, and I started to be more, I started to do by myself. And as I went through, like I was listening to mariachi music, I was listening to electronic, pop music. That's something that I've always liked, that type of music, and incorporating mariachi with my music in a way, I think that's so cool. You know, I want to do music that's a little different. I was like, I'm going to start doing some covers, happy music or emotional music. That's what I'm feeling right now. And I know others are feeling it as well. So I wanted to show that. I wanted to show that emotion with my music, if it was happy or sad or stressed or annoyed or whatever I'm feeling at the moment. For me, it has always helped me. That's like my stress relief. Playing a song, like whatever I'm feeling, I want to play it. It always keeps coming to me, like the music somehow. So I'm really excited, emocionada, for the new music that's going to come, which is así, la vida es así, meaning, you know, that's life. That's life. What we're going through right now is life.
Okay, so we got a few contributions and I added more entropy to this. Now let's click enter and see what happens. All right. You see also told that I might, use computer resources. So for people who want to participate in a future Plumo ceremony, know that, this is how the participation happened. it'll take a few hours for all the participants, to complete their $0 SNARK ceremony computation. And then at the end of it, what we're probably going to be doing, everyone's going to be tweeting out their attestation once the ceremony is complete and stuff for this round. And yeah, if you're excited about this, feel free to hit me up. And if you want to learn how to contribute for a future round and stuff. Do we have any of the participants right now? Are any of the participants here? Hey, Hudson.
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
What's up, Hudson? All right. So we're gonna my apologies for earlier. I forgot to introduce all the participants. So let's
okay.
you don't need any introduction, Hudson. Like, if people don't know who you are, then they're watching the wrong stream. But please, why don't you introduce us?
Sure. So I'm Hudson Jameson. I'm with the Ethereum Foundation and have been a part of cryptocurrency communities since about 2011, including Dash and Bitcoin. Excited to participate in the ceremony today. I'm also with the Ethereum Cat Herders and doing some stuff with Zcash. So you can find me kind of everywhere. I'm Hudson Jameson on Twitter and at hudsonjameson.com. And this is my favorite Hawaiian shirt. It's Baby Yoda.
Yeah, I think I've noticed you in a few Hawaiian shirts before, but is it, not the Baby Yoda one?
Yeah, this is becoming my thing, I think, but I don't know if it's going to be annoying or not yet. We're going to see.
I don't think it's annoying, Hudson. I think it's very colorful. It's like it goes well with the spirit of Ethereum and stuff.
Sweet.
Yeah. Let's have a panel then. Let's bring on who's on this backstage as well. Is James here? Hey, James.
Hello.
Welcome back. Did your computation start?
Yep. Been running for a few minutes now.
Nice.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, Anna. How's it going?
Hey.
Is Greg also here, or can we have more than 4 participants?
That's a good question.
I think that's a question for our awesome producer backstage. Okay. Let's see. Apologies again for both of you. I haven't really asked you to introduce yourself. I mean, Jane, Anna, you don't need any introduction, but let's kick it off. Jane, why don't you tell us about who you are?
Yeah. Oh, there's Greg. Hey, Greg.
Hey, Greg.
My name's James Prestwich. I'm currently a protocol engineer at cLabs, working on the Celo protocol and coordinating hard forks, designing CIPs, and working on interoperability projects.
Awesome. Anna?
Hey, y'all. I'm also a protocol engineer at cLabs presently. I actually just started at cLabs, and I am presently mostly working with James on some interoperability stuff as well.
So we got a combo of team on interoperability around here. Love it. And Anna, I mean, you just recently started and you're already participating in a $0 SNARK ceremony. So that's pretty cool.
I know, I'm stoked.
Yeah, it's my first time as well. And I'm like, man, I should be doing this more often, Greg, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Greg, CTO and one of the co-founders at ChainSafe. We also love interoperability. We're actually, anyway, I work on a variety of stuff, like in Ethereum space, Cosmos, Polkadot, and kind of just love working with you guys. Worked with Yaz and James quite a bit in all sorts of different facets, and Hudson every now and then. It's nice to meet you, Anna.
Just for folks who don't know, ChainSafe is actually one of the best chain agnostic engineering shops around. These guys do a lot of things. So whatever Greg is telling you, he's underselling himself. They're actually really, really awesome and stuff. Let's see now. All right. So how is everyone doing? How is everyone's computation going? Did anyone get the first? I think it's 0 out of 256. Anyone got there yet? The first one?
Ooh, I got 5 out of 256.
Man, I'm still at 0 right now, but I started later than all of you, so maybe that's why.
I'm at 1. That's pretty good, right? 1.
One's pretty good. Am I winning though? Is this a contest? Because if it is, I might be winning.
Sorry, Hudson. I'm at 9.
Oh
No.
My computer literally sounds like it's gonna blow up. So.
But you're doing it on a Windows, right?
Yeah, I'm on my gaming tower.
Yeah, I'm on my video editing.
Anna,
PC,
I think
Windows,
you're muted.
Yeah, Anna, you're muted.
Okay, great. There we go.
Yeah, no worries. I'll be back. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, so actually I just got my first contribution, 1 out of 256, winning. At this rate, probably going to take a few hours and stuff. But yeah, so I guess my first question is, we don't have to really like dive into it too much, but you know, what did you do for entropy generation? We'll start off with Hudson. I know you have a tweet coming out later with what you did, but like maybe like from a high level and stuff.
Yeah, it's actually a 20-second video if you want me to just show it.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you want to share your screen?
You used a video as your entropy?
No, not quite.
You made a video about his entropy?
Yeah.
I made a video about my entropy, so let me do this and share my audio.
Yeah, let me
get more creative.
Stop my screen.
Let me know when to go. Ready, and go.
Hey, Hudson, I believe like it wasn't sharing. So can you try sharing the screen again?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe I have to stop sharing my own screen for you to see.
That's probably it.
Let me stop my screen. Okay, I stopped sharing screen. Go ahead and try.
All right, I'll do it right now. Can you see it?
I present to you my state-of-the-art entropy device. Her name is Lilu, and she will be providing entropy for us today. Oh, don't click the escape. Okay. There you go. Okay. She did such a good job.
There we go.
Oh, I love it. I love it. A cat video.
Bring everybody.
Amazing. For $0 SNARK. Oh my God, that's so good.
Yeah, the cat doesn't have any idea. Like I asked the cat and they don't know what this ceremony is about, so they couldn't even cheat.
So it's literally zero knowledge cats as well.
Zero knowledge cats, yeah.
That's amazing. I love it. Definitely tweet it out later. We're gonna definitely be retweeting that and stuff. I think that's like, we also have prizes, so you know you can win a prize for the best, most creative one. And I think this is the most creative one so far that I've seen. But yeah, let's see, Jane, what did you do for entropy generation?
Well, usually I use books. So grabbing books in a couple different languages off the shelf, opening up to random pages. It makes it very difficult to remember what you did after the fact if you do this a few times.
Yeah. And different languages. So I guess like you would have to type it in Unicode, like for that specific language and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
You also, I remember you saying that you speak in Japanese. You speak fluent Japanese. Is that right?
I'm okay at it. I'm getting a bit rusty. I haven't had as much of a chance to practice in the wild during lockdown.
Oh, word. Okay. But when at DEFCON Osaka, were you able to get by with?
Oh yeah. Well, I used to live in Japan for a few years, and so like the basic living skills, I still have a lot of. It's the like conversational stuff, not nearly as fluent as I used to be.
That's good to know. It's interesting. It's always been like a fascinating language to me compared to like other languages and stuff, and because of like watching like anime as a kid and stuff.
Yeah, I kind of took it on a whim during college and was very surprised that everyone was there for the anime. This was not something that entered my life before college.
Oh, I think you got cut off for a few seconds. Can you repeat what you just said?
Oh, I kind of took the language on a whim during college, and was really surprised that everyone was there because of anime, which was not something that was a part of my life before I started speaking Japanese.
Well, that's really interesting. Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like when you read like something in its original language, it's better than when it's like, translated, because there's a lot of lost in translation kind of thing happening.
Yep.
Interesting. Awesome. What about Greg? What did you do for entropy?
Oh, Greg is gone. We lost Greg.
Greg jumped off of it. That's fine. Okay.
Well, it's just me and you, Yaz. We can keep talking about me all day. I'm really good at that.
Oh no,
wait, bring Hudson into the fold. Let's talk about me some more. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah. How many cats do you have, Hudson?
I actually have 3, and we love them like we would love human children. So.
Are they named Lilu, Dallas, and Multipass?
No, that's what Lilu's named after. The others are Philip J. Fry after Futurama that we call Fry, and Vivian.
Vivian.
That's awesome. I think for this panel, I think what will be interesting, like James is really well known for breaking down really complex things into like really simple explanation. So I want to hear James from a high level. How would you explain zero-knowledge SNARK to someone? And just a high level. We don't have to dive deep into it and stuff. And I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, I really should have prepared for this question or something, written something in advance, but that's not, I'm very bad at preparing for these things, so I'm just gonna wing it.
Yeah.
The basic idea here is that I want to convince you that I know something without telling you, without revealing it to you. So maybe I can convince you I know how to find Waldo in one of the pages in a Where's Waldo book. But I don't want you to find out where he is, just that I know where he is. This construction ends up being really interesting and useful out there in the wild. When we're talking about privacy coins, it's I can convince you that I own coins without telling you, where they came from or necessarily exactly how many there are, and I can convince you that I paid you. Without giving up my privacy. When it comes to things like Plumo, we're not doing this for the privacy. The other property of SNARKs that are really, really cool is that they take any amount of computation and make it the same small size. So this thing that I proved to you that I know, it could be gigabytes large, but the SNARK will still be a few hundred bytes. And it could take me, 3 weeks to build this proof, but you can always check it in, less than a second. And so, using it for summarizing a big computation that I run and then tell you about is really, really useful.
So basically, yeah, okay. So from a high level, aside from Plumo, basically zero-knowledge SNARK, it's like, how do I prove something is true without revealing any information about it mathematically?
Right.
Yeah, and that can be really useful for a lot of things. And then with going over what you said about Plumo, I believe we want to do one SNARK for 100 epochs, which is about 100 days and stuff in a SNARK. That's pretty amazing that if you just have one proof for 100 epochs in terms of sync speed and stuff.
To run it yourself, you would have to download 100 headers, which is going to be a lot of data. And then you're going to have to go through each one and verify the signatures on it and check all the validators signed correctly and check all these validator balance and state updates. And it takes a significant amount of time. But with a SNARK, you get all of that all at once in less than a second in a format that can be consumed by your phone. Someone else does all the expensive computation for you, and they give you this proof that shows that it is valid. And when we say zero knowledge, what we mean is you don't need all of that expensive data and computation. You just need the little proof, and then you get everything you want. You have zero knowledge of that computation.
It's so fascinating to me. And because I think our client is a forker gap from early on and stuff. I'm kind of curious because Hudson, you've been involved, you've been running the all core dev calls and stuff, and you have a lot of visibility into that and stuff. Do you think such kind of technology is also useful?
Oh, yeah, it's cut out.
Well, do you think technology is useful in Geth?
No, the zero knowledge SNARK, like the Plumo hack for an ultralight client. Do you think that's useful upstream in Geth as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that this is something that can, with these, correct me if I'm wrong, James, but a lot of these ceremonies can be reused across different protocols, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, if someone wanted to build the cryptography into an Ethereum-like system like Celo's doing to do something like this, then they absolutely can. As far as what happens in Ethereum, I'm not as familiar with what precompiles are required. Actually, this might be a better James question for what's required in Geth for this kind of thing. We're going to put it all on you, James. What's going on?
Well, Ethereum doesn't have the precompiles that you would need to check Plumo SNARKs. So unfortunately, we can't run a Plumo client on Ethereum for a while. Hopefully in a future update.
I think ETH2 is going to bring some stuff, right?
I guess because we're IBFD and we're using DLS for our node history and Ethereum using proof of work currently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have some stuff coming down the line that's I think it's called EVM 384 and then some other multiples of 128 in there for different EIPs that will bring new generic precompiles so you can do different curves much more easily. Is that your understanding, James?
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on the roadmap for this, but it's kind of nebulous when it'll make it into the EVM.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, in terms of syncing Geth history, it's actually much harder for a proof of work chain than it is for a proof of stake chain to run an ultralight client.
Right.
So I wouldn't expect that we see an Ethereum ultralight client until ETH2 or after that.
Yeah, ETH2 is going to be real exciting stuff. So I'm looking forward to all the innovation that brings. Right now, we're just dealing with keeping basically the most popular blockchain system alive by trying to figure out what efficiencies we can make and trade-offs we can make as far as gas price and block gas limit and things like that. So this is definitely something that ETH2 could bring along. I agree with.
So, yeah, I think it'll be really something that I would love to see being contributed long term to ETH2 as well. Because I'm really excited about ETH2. I'm slowly collecting my Ethereums to become a validator later on, and
nice.
I'm really excited in a lot of the validator related operations and stuff. We do a lot of validator related activity at Celo and stuff. We have an IBFT kind of consensus for validators and stuff. But coming from a proof of work world, as you know, I'm actually a lot more excited about proof of stake now.
Yeah. Proof of work, it's dead. It's wasteful. It's energy inefficient. But throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
We can agree to disagree about that.
Okay, I'm a little intense on my proof of work hate, but I will agree to disagree.
That's fair. So I guess Hudson, what kind of other avenues do you see for Geth upstream? Because I feel aside from Plumo, a lot of us, we're doing a lot of stuff on Geth, like the forker Geth in we call Celo blockchain, and we would love to do contributions upstream as well and stuff. And is that something that Ethereum would be open to at the foundation, getting contributions and stuff?
I can't speak directly for the Geth team, but I can say, as far as your first question is what's coming out in the future, I know they've been working hard on some stuff with SnapSync. So there's different syncing protocols that are going to be a little bit faster, hopefully, replace some of the, disjointed light sinks that we've had over at Ethereum over the years. And then as far as collaboration, I'm sure they're always open to collaboration and PRs.
Nice.
Celo hasn't been one of the organizations that have been hostile toward Geth or Ethereum in general, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
So I don't see any reason to not want the collaboration. But again, I can't speak for the Geth team exactly, but it's definitely something where we'll connect on that later and see what we can offer for collaboration's sake.
Yeah, like just to give people some context, like Hudson and I, and even James, like we knew each other from back when I was at Ethereum Classic, and that community is famous for like some other thing being hostile to Ethereum, and Geth was one of them. But moving over to Celo is like the total opposite. It's like the nicest community ever, and everyone's like generally down to hang out with people at Celo. So it's been really refreshing to see that and stuff. Yeah, I guess one last question, and I'll bring it up to James, is what do you see as the future of interoperability for blockchain? Or I guess, what do you like to see in the future kind of thing?
Yeah, I think, with the impending launch of these optimistic rollups and these other kind of layer 2 systems and ETH2, we're entering essentially this multi-chain world. People are going to need to maintain accounts on Ethereum and ETH2 and Optimism and Arbitrum and all of these different systems. So I think that we're all going to realize pretty soon that there is almost no practical difference to the user between a layer 2 and a different layer 1. That all of the interoperability tech works just the same way between layer 1s as it does between layer 1 and layer 2. And that we're going to kind of enter this nice renaissance of interoperability where we're figuring out how to connect all the chains and all the L2s to each other directly, rather than focusing on these like single purpose bridges.
Well, that sounds...
Oh, I think we lost Yaz. No, Yaz.
What was he going to say? I need his approval.
Oh, sorry. Can you all hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Awesome. Yeah, and I was just gonna say that I'm really excited about what you're building, Jane. The future of interoperability at Celo, and like for all the blockchain, what it means for all the blockchain. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Hey, Anna, you're back.
We got Anna.
Hey guys, sorry for my absence.
Awesome. Yeah, how's it going with your contributions so far? How far are you?
So we are having some technical difficulties on my end.
Ooh.
So yeah, we are troubleshooting that at the moment.
Technical difficulties. Yeah, I'm currently at contributing 7 out of 256. So yay. I'm going through with that. Shane, how you doing so far?
3.
Wow.
I got 17.
Yeah, I'm the slow one apparently. I gotta get a better computer.
I guess you're like running this on a potato, James. Like I didn't think you could run this on a potato, but you are.
Well, I've got this little Linux box on my bookshelf downstairs, and it doesn't normally do anything else. So I was expecting it to be okay at this, but it's time for an upgrade, I guess.
For an upgrade. It's always like, I think that's a great advertisement for an upgrade for a computer. Like if you're not sure if you should upgrade your computer, why don't you participate in a $0 SNARK ceremony, and that will let you know if you need to,
let you know that everything's terrible.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Okay, so we have like about 5 minutes for the live stream, 6 minutes. I was hoping to get Connor on board, on the live stream to share their dashboard, but I'm not sure. Like, I think, Anna, you were talking about the technical difficulties. I think they're trying to manage a few other technical difficulties. So just to start to wrap it up, maybe we should go over to AMA. So,
all right, Yaz cut out again. So we are asking anything
in the world, but I also kind of like East Berlin, so I don't want to pick. But East Denver is happening this week. We currently have an AMA happening at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is, according to my math, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the AMA is going to feature James Westwich, who you've seen, and Anna Rose. Anna Rose has been amazingly driving the whole coordination of the Plumo Ceremony. She also hosts the Zero Knowledge podcast on her side. So I'm going to be asking her how the ceremony is going and stuff, and I'm going to be asking James more questions about Zero Knowledge SNARK. Do we have any banners to show people about like the whole thing happening in a few hours? I think in like 4 hours and stuff. That's when we're gonna have our AMA. It's gonna be on the Twitch East Denver AMA. I'm also gonna be taking over Instagram today for the celo.org account, and I'm gonna be posting Instagram live and stories updates about the Plumo Ceremony as it's happening right now and my contribution. So before we head out, let me share my screen really quickly. I don't know if we're sharing it right now. Okay, I guess I don't see the. Oh, here it is. Let me share really quickly. All right. So as you can, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. So currently, we're at 10 out of 256 contributions so far for me. So yay. We still have a few more, like a while to go to hit 256, but I'm going to keep it running the whole day. And that's generally how a live stream about Zero Knowledge SNARK ceremony happens and stuff. It's mostly just running a few commands, and then participating in a ceremony, and just the rest is all computation that you just leave running. At the end of this, when the ceremony ends, we're going to be tweeting out our attestation to prove that we completed the ceremony. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for the live stream. So yeah, if you ever want to learn more about Plumo, we have a lot of amazing materials on our website about Plumo. If you want to participate in a future Plumo ceremony, we have an application process. It's really straightforward. As long as you're comfortable with the command line, you have the right, computing requirements and stuff, you're able to contribute to Plumo. And the whole goal of Plumo, like we covered today in the live stream, is basically we want to build the most ultralight client that anyone with a slow mobile phone a slow mobile phone and a slow internet connection would be able to sync up the entire blockchain history in 30 seconds or so. So that's the whole goal, and I would love to see more people applying. You can always hit me up on Twitter if you have any questions. We also follow us on celo.org as well, and ask any question. And I look forward to seeing you participating in Plumo. So thank you, everyone, and be sure to check out our Instagram page for further updates for today. Take care.